If I give you $20,000 and let you stay alone in the suburbs with 2 corpses for 7 days and 7 nights, would you be willing? After all, money makes the world go round. Kai took this job. He was originally a hospital nurse. He was used to patients and corpses. Aunt May carefully told him not to enter the master bedroom of the employer casually. He had to light incense every day, prepare the menu, and add flavor to the food. Then he drove away in a car with a license plate number of 5420. He was the only one left in the huge villa. His first thing was to walk to the master bedroom of the employer leisurely and quietly and lie down. It seems that he is a restless master. He sleeps comfortably until the night. At night, Kai made Western food according to the menu, seasoned it, and carefully picked out the green beans. When he was about to leave, he suddenly heard the call of a lizard. A lizard appeared from nowhere and jumped into the door. Kai immediately lifted the door to look for the lizard. Unexpectedly, he saw the bride with a smile as beautiful as a flower in the night. With this proud, the size of the lizard made Kai so stunned that he forgot why he turned on the switch. When he came to his senses and looked for the lizard, he found that it was an unruly lizard that crawled into his leg. Kai stretched out his hand with a little embarrassment and slowly lifted the hem of his skirt. When he was about to reach the angle of the horse, the black coffin next to him suddenly crashed into the white coffin, frightening him. Kai suddenly realized that his behavior was inappropriate. He quickly covered the female coffin and placed the male coffin and left. Kai, who was carefree, returned to the room and began to wonder about the cause of death of the bride Shirley. He opened the drawer and looked through the photos that the groom took of Shirley. The corners of his mouth rose unconsciously. In the photos, Shirley's expression gradually became terrified. She was tied up with scars on the corners of her mouth. There seemed to be a large water stain on the ground that had been wiped. Kai immediately imagined that Shirley was abused by her fiancé. The more he thought about the picture, the angrier he got. A sudden knock on the door interrupted Kai's thoughts. He saw a white thread hanging on the doorframe. It smelled of milk. It turned out to be the stitching line on Shirley's chest. Kai saw Shirley at the end of the thread. Under the spotlight, she stretched out her hand to him. Kai was also fascinated by the response. Suddenly, the groom mic appeared in the dark. This woke Kai up. Turned out to be a dream. At this time, the TV happened to show the recorded picture. Shirley was in. She cried and said, "You keep saying you love me. Why do you do this to me?" The groom said, "I do this to you because I love you." Then he tied up Shirley's feet. Kelly Ma was distressed and turned off the video but missed the truth. She was very sure that Michael was a domestic violence man. At this time, she went out and saw the female official being kicked. Shirley's wound was bleeding again. Kai's desire to protect her was aroused. She pushed the male officer into another room and wrapped the coffin with silk thread. Then Kai showed weakness. Zhenbao sewed up Shirley's wound and she was obsessed with the smell of disinfectant. The next picture is only for friends to see. 3 seconds later, Kai entered the self-intoxicated passionate love period. Shirley was put into various beautiful poses like a doll. With a smile on her face, she accepted Kai's deep baptism. At night, she was awakened by the sound of collision and looked around. Then she felt a chill approaching from behind. She quickly ran back to the room but found that Shirley was gone. Suddenly, a hand stretched out from under the bed and dragged Kai to the bottom of the bed with great force. She struggled to get out but was stabbed by a sharp object at the ankle. Kai crawled out of the room in pain and found the body of the groom sitting on the floor in the living room, who was under the bed just now. She turned around suddenly and saw the picture of the newlyweds before they died. It turned out that the groom had tied up Shirley to stop her from self-abuse. Shirley begged the groom so much that he softened his heart. As soon as she was untied, Shirley suddenly went crazy and smashed the crystal music box. She was about to run away holding the bride's crystal doll. The groom immediately caught up with her. When the two were fighting for the crystal, Shirley pushed the groom away and cut his neck happily. Then she slowly cut her own neck. How did Shirley live to this age when she was so seriously ill? Kai was stunned. When the scene ended, Kai was horrified to find a woman with white eyes sitting on the bed. She gasped and asked, "Don't you love me?" Then she shook her head to let her see her scarred face. Kai screamed in fear and turned around. Shirley grabbed his neck. It was exactly 3 o'clock in the morning. Kai woke up and found himself in the female official. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't shake the official cover. Shirley happily sat on the official waiting for Kai to become my new ghost king.